Hi guys, I'm Tiffany Pope and I'm from Walnut, California, and this is my story. So I grew up in a Christian household. My dad was a Christian and then my mom was a Catholic, and then when they met, they both started going to church together, and kind of like my family background is my parents together now. They had me, but my mom and dad, they had marriages before, so kind of going into that, I have half siblings. So I actually don't have full blood siblings, but I have five siblings, which is so wild, but they're all so fun. And so yeah, growing up, there was a lot going on already, like kind of born into this kind of chaos, but the Lord is so good. But yeah, I grew up in a Christian household, but I never really wanted to really go to church. Like, it was just like, you have to go with us type of thing. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going. So, but yeah, I look back at it now and I'm very thankful that they always took me to church. So growing up, I always had a really good relationship with my parents. Like, I literally love them so much. But growing up, it was not always the easiest. I had mentioned before that my parents were divorced before, so they had children. My mom was married twice before, and my dad was married once before. So my dad had 3 kids, and then my mom had 2 kids with 2 different dads, and then together my parents had me. So we're pretty much like a blended family. We literally have everything in the books. We got step siblings, half siblings, full blood siblings, like you name it. So it was kind of already like chaotic, but yeah, there was a recession in 2008 and we lost everything. We lived in Vegas and then we lost everything, moved to California, and have been here ever since. But my dad lost his job, my mom lost her job, we literally lost everything. And you know, as the man of the house, like, you want to provide for your family, you want to provide for your wife, and he just couldn't find a job. It was pretty like inconsistent. So obviously there's a lot of like anger or like resentment and bitterness. And so there was just one day, I was with my sister, who's 9 years older than me. Her name's Brianna. Love her. But yeah, we were at home and my parents were at home, and I remember this so vividly. Like, they got into an argument about finances, and yeah, my dad got super upset that night, and he ended up like throwing things at my mom and like kind of verbally like being abusive, and yeah, lots of things were said. And then my sister's dad found out. So we have different dads. But yeah, she found out he found out and called the cops on us, on my dad. And yeah, it was honestly like such a shock. I chased after my dad. I was like, I literally love my dad so much. Like, I'm going to go after him, even though he literally did that to my mom. We were super bonded through sports. So I loved my dad. Still love my dad, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, so chase after my dad, and just after that, like, I went through a lot of court dates. We went to the children's court, and I ended up getting taken away from my parents, so I lived with my grandma for about a year. My parents had to live separate. My sister couldn't live with us. She lived with her dad, so it was just like a lot of moving parts. But yeah, it's so crazy to look back on, because I can see the way that the Lord was still in that, and like how he restored my family today. But there's just so many moments, like, if we didn't go through that, like, my parents wouldn't have the strong relationship and marriage that they have today. And like I said, I got to be with my grandma for a year, and a couple of years later, she ended up getting like really bad depression and kind of like lost all of her like mental kind of state. So it was like really hard for her to live by herself. And so I'm very thankful that I got to live with her before kind of like that went down. So like, I see the Lord in that, and I see the Lord in how he completely restored my dad. Like, He is the most nicest person, like, on this planet. And, like, the way that the Lord has used him is so inspiring. And, like, I look back at it and, like, I could be so, resentful or, like, bitter. But I'm like, no, like, the Lord turns all things for his glory and for his good. And I just, like, am in such awe of how he restored my family and the relationship that my sister, who went through that, has with my dad. Like, my sister asked my dad to walk her down the aisle, and, like, my sister recently was just like, my dad's name is Rod, but she was just like, Rod, like, thank you for being a dad to me. Like, I never had that, and I feel like you've been more of a real dad to me than my biological dad, which is like, whoa, like, how crazy is that? And so it's been so inspiring how the Lord's even worked in my mom, and, like, how my parents are today. And if we didn't go through that, like I said, they wouldn't be where they're at today. So it's just super cool, like, to see that even when, literally that song, like, even when we don't see it or feel, like, he's still working. And I could look back and be like, wow, Lord, like, you were in that moment. You were with me. And he was right by my side, like, all along. And so, yeah. So as I mentioned before, my relationship with the Lord was very, like, transactional. Again, I only went because my parents told me. And it wasn't actually until I came to Vanguard where I had a couple of teammates pour into me. She graduated just a year ago, but her name's Ari Carell. She really just poured into my life and really just saw something in me that I didn't even know. And she took me to Circuit Riders one day, and I was like, whoa, like, this is cool. I just saw so much joy and so much life, and I felt like I was really missing that. In high school, I struggled a lot with just, like, identity and kind of just going through a lot of anxiety. And also I play softball, so with sports, I just felt super lost and caught up in my results, caught up in, like, the work grind, and really, like, church was on the back burner. But as I had mentioned, I had a teammate pour into me, and I had realized it was more than just softball, and there was more to life than just dwelling on those things. But yeah, she really poured into me. And I also have another friend who really poured into me, discipled me, graduated 2 years ago. Go Vanguard alum. But her name's Nadia, and she really just discipled me in a way that I'm so thankful for. I always looked up to those two, and they called me higher, and I just wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. So after I had just those two, like, really pour into me, I really felt the Lord, like, beginning to convict me about certain things. And I had a previous relationship that I was in for 5 years, so really long time. We were together since freshman year of high school, and we broke up sophomore year. But as that freshman year was going around, people were pouring into me, and the Lord was just chasing me. I was just like, wow, like, I really want this wholeheartedly. And I ended up getting baptized with one of my teammates, Noni Chavez, and we went together. It was kind of like, let's just do this. Like, let's go all in for Jesus. And we got baptized at Pirates Cove. It was so awesome. Honestly, the best decision of my life. Obviously, saying yes to the Lord, but that too. It was just so awesome. Like, to feel myself go down in the water and then come back up, I truly felt like, just like, so good. And I was just like, wow, like, I'm ready to wholeheartedly pursue him. And I'm not going to say that it was easy after that. It wasn't. But the Lord just, like, continued to refine me, continued to purify my heart. And he was beginning to get rid of desires that I had struggled with, started to get rid of just, like, past stuff that I was still holding on to. And specifically that relationship, he was like, you need to let this go. It's not good for you. And I was like, all right, Lord, like, this is all I've ever known. When you're with someone for 5 years, it's very difficult. And again, like, I was so young, I felt like that was all I ever knew. And like I said, I had so many people just, like, pouring into me, giving me just godly counsel, and people who I looked up to and trusted. Thank God for Vanguard community, because it's literally so good. But yeah, and ended up finally breaking up with my ex-boyfriend, and after that, it was just like night and day. I truly felt like so much peace. And in the beginning, I was like, what did I just do? But truly, like, the fear of the unknown, it was just like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm trusting in you, Lord, and I'm giving you my whole yes. And man, there was so much to come after that, like, little did I know. However, I did get injured sophomore year, so I did struggle with an injury. I tore my LCL, so I was out the whole season. So there was like another huge thing that I was like, are you serious? Like, I feel like everything's crumbling. But I truly felt like the Lord was in that season of like, hey, like, softball is not your identity. Like, your identity is in me. And I was like, wow, like, you're right. And I'm still the same person I was as if I was on the field, or like, I'm still going to be the same person. I'm still going to cheer on my teammates. I'm going to be the best teammate out there. And the Lord still used me in such a mighty way. We ended up winning GSAC that year. So it was kind of like really hard for me man, like, I'm sitting in the stands, like, watching my team, but I was so proud of them and they made me feel so welcome. And that summer, got to go on a mission trip to Northern Ireland, and it's so crazy because I feel like the Lord really just prepared me for like what was to come. He used me in such a special way, and in a way that I was like, wow, I didn't know I could be used this way. Just like continue to pour out like spiritual gifts, and was able to use that. And again, I went with my teammate Noni Chavez, so we went together. But truly so amazing to see like what the Lord can do with your yes. And I truly felt like after that mission trip, like, I had so much confidence and boldness, and I was like, wow, like, the Lord really can use me in ways that I could never imagine. And then, yeah, it led me into junior year. Was so good, just like enjoying, really just going all in for the Lord and just having so much joy and the opportunities that were opening up. I was able to be vice president, or serve as the vice president on the student athlete leadership team. And the Lord just like opened up a whole new gateway of like leadership opportunities. And I was like, wow, I really enjoy doing this. And so yeah, like, kind of end of junior year, I went on another mission trip to Armenia. And it's just so cool to see what the Lord's doing, not only here at Vanguard, here in California, but also like across the nation. It's so honestly radical, like, to know that the gospel is being proclaimed like everywhere. And yeah, it's just really like lit a fire in me of like, man, like, this is incredible of how the Lord is using so many people in various locations. So it's been honestly such an awesome journey with the Lord, and what a simple yes can do. I literally I wouldn't believe if you told me like I would be here. He's just been so good. He's such a giving God. And now kind of like where I'm at today is I'm the SALT president now, so the student athlete leadership president. And it's just been so impactful and like so inspiring to see how students are really invested in just like serving not only the campus, but the community as a whole and across the nation too. It's honestly been so rewarding and so inspiring to me. But yeah, honestly, I just have such a heart for Vanguard and for everyone here. Like, I love to get to know people and to hear their stories. It's just so cool to see how the Lord like uses us and how he brought us here for a purpose. And it's not coincidental at all that we're here. Like, we are here at a specific time for a specific reason. And so I just encourage all you guys to press into what the Lord has for you, and not only like stay within your bubble, but just like go explore, like get involved, like join a team, do whatever it is, because you can literally have so many more opportunities that you never could have imagined. And so I'm very thankful that the Lord has used me in that way, and that he still continues to use me today.